Hi, this is Meg from Flow Financial Planning. Thank you for tuning into the January newsletter. And do not worry, this is not going to be a video about resolutions for the new year or the top 5 things you can do to improve your finances in 2018, because I hate those sorts of things. Today's video is instead inspired by a conversation I had yesterday with a financial writer who was interviewing me about robo-advisors, specifically robo-advisors versus human financial planners. Which is better for whom under what circumstances? So having conversations with women in the tech industry all the time, as I do, I see and hear a lot of conversations about robo-advisors. A lot of people using robo-advisors and being very happy about the experience. A lot of people wondering if robo-advisors is the right solution for them. So when it comes to robo-advisors, everyone probably knows Betterment. They seem to have won the name recognition game. There's Wealthfront. There is Ellevest, which is targeted at women and seems to have a marketing budget to make a business owner weep. And then there are established companies like Vanguard and Schwab that also have their own robo-advisor offering. And let me just say up front, I love robo-advisors. I think they are great. They are not great for everyone all of the time, but they are great for a lot of people a lot of the time. And here's what I love about robo-advisors. First and foremost, they got the memo from academic and empirical research about how to invest well. They invest simply, they invest inexpensively, they manage taxes aggressively, and they invest passively. That is, they don't try to beat the market. As far as I'm concerned, investing is an algorithm. And who does algorithms better than computers? Computers can get efficiencies of scale that a human advisor is simply never going to get. The second reason I love robo-advisors so much is because they make the process super easy for people to get started. There is a lot of inertia around taking care of your investments, as you might very well know in your own life. So anything that helps people do it more easily is good in my book. From what I understand, at Betterment, you could roll your old 401k into an IRA at Betterment and be fully invested in under 10 minutes. Boom. I think that's great. The third reason I like robo-advisors is like that really easy onboarding process I just described. Some robo-advisors are starting to incorporate more behavioral finance efforts into their service. I recently listened to an interview with Dan Egan, who is the Director of Behavioral Finance and Investments at Betterment, and he talked about a lot of the efforts that Betterment is spending using their big data set to experiment with their service offerings, all with an eye towards figuring out ways to get investors to behave better. An example that's near and dear to my heart is that last year they implemented a new service that allows you to very easily and very tax savvily donate shares of appreciated investments. Appreciated just meaning it's grown in value. If you donate appreciated stock or mutual funds, it's a very tax savvy way of donating to charity. And they've made it very easy for you to do this. And I can tell you from experience, typically that is a pain in the butt process to go through. So they've made this process very simple to donate in a tax-savvy way to charity. And if you're anything like my clients, you are really interested in giving more money to the causes you care about. So anything that makes it easier for you to do that is good. And the last reason I really like robo-advisors is that they eventually realize that people's concerns about their finances extend beyond just their investments. And so a lot of the robo-advisors, possibly all of them at this point, I don't know, have incorporated human certified financial planners into their service offering. Now, this is something you have to pay more for, understandably, but you get to talk to a human to ask questions like, how much should I save? How should I prioritize my goals? Those sort of questions that computers can't answer for you. So the real question you are probably asking yourself is, should I use a robo-advisor? And I think you would be an excellent fit for using a robo-advisor if all you want is for someone or something to manage your money in a way that you can feel confident in. If you are not interested in investing money, if you don't have the time for it, or if you're not confident in your ability to invest your money, use a robo-advisor. On that last point about not being confident, that is something I think that's a separate issue, and I want to challenge you on that. You need to understand how investing works. There's an entire industry out there dedicated to making you think it's too complicated for you to understand and do yourself. That is not true. I'm not saying you have to manage your own money, but you do have to understand how your money is being managed. I am hosting a webinar with tech ladies at the end of February, going over just the basics of investing. And the basics are pretty much all you need. So, tune in if you want to learn more. Lots of books out there, lots of resources. I think it is imperative for you to understand the basics of investing. And the last point on this note about just getting investment management is, please do not pay someone 1% of your portfolio just for them to manage your money. That is a long tradition in the financial planning space, and technology has made it obsolete. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of people out there who are so scared about investing that they're willing to pay that fee. And there are also a lot of advisors who haven't yet expanded the value they offer beyond pure investment management. But in my opinion, that is a dying business model. And I also think you'd be a good fit for a robo-advisor if you want that investment management, but you also want a little more technical help with broader financial questions, the savings questions, the prioritization questions. Now, of course, you are going to pay a premium for this, as is reasonable. And that relationship is not going to have the richness, the depth, the accountability that you would get from a relationship with a financial planner like me, for example. But not everyone needs that richness and depth and accountability. And frankly, not everyone can afford that richness and depth and accountability. And if either of those things are the case, I think a robo-advisor is a really smart way to go. So I will end with 2 caveats, I guess I'll call them. One is you still got to watch out for costs. Not all robo-advisors are created the same. They don't provide the same service or value. They don't charge the same amount of money. And the second one is, honestly, while robo-advisors are all modern and sexy and they get all the press, they are not the first companies to this investing rodeo. Vanguard, for example, has long offered all-in-one, set-it-and-forget-it mutual funds that offer more or less the same investment experience that a robo-advisor would, but at half the cost, or even less than that. So if all you want is for someone to manage, your 401k money, your IRA money, your retirement money, I would really encourage you to investigate, for example, Vanguard's target date retirement funds. They cost well under 0.2% of your investments per year. I think Betterment's going to cost you maybe 0.25% per year. And like I said, you're going to get basically the same investment experience, but at less cost. So I hope this helps you figure out whether robo-advisors might be a good fit for your needs. Again, this is Meg from Flow Financial Planning. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next month.